It makes the DVD instead
Oh.
of whatever.
Yeah.
Guys,
And,
settle down in the house.
You can go in the kids' room if you want to, and that old kid box down on your right.
On the right.
On the right, right there.
Did you see their faces?
On your right.
Kids' room.
And on the shelf.
Be
Down
gentle
on the
though.
bottom.
On the right.
Uh,
They don't know the right. Okay.
And have the convert box.
Mm-hmm.
But the bad thing about it puts out so much heat.
Oh, and it's noisy as heck.
Well, I moved it. I got a long tube and I put it over across the hall and that way.
Moms would do this, you know, like release pressure once in a while. And then
Yes, it does that too.
and you- How do you sleep? How do you sleep with that?
And I didn't mind the heat in the wintertime, but this summer, I just decided to go back and have the weather.
Yeah.
So. Now there comes your friend. There comes your
Who is it?
my sister, I guess. They usually don't watch. Did I send you a picture of that?
Oh, I think you did.
Oh,
I think you
it might be
did. In your
Saturday.
Christmas letter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Might be Saturday.
Well, how are your sisters doing?
Well, sister made a bad pass. Caught that little.
It's called a Scoozy.
Scoozy.
So anyhow, once she and Alan went, but by this time, Grandpa Gatlin and Miss Ruth were married and living in Little Rock. He was still working. So she went back. Once they separated and divorced, and Miss Virgie had moved to Dallas, got out of the picture. Then the girls went back with their dad. But Dorothy was independent. She was more independent than Dorothy was, Sammy was, I think, and more rigid. So she went to Dallas to be with her mother. But Sammy stayed here because she had a sweetheart here. She was going to be married, and then once they got
Sammy described it like she and Alan met and got married very quickly thereafter, but it doesn't sound like it from what you're
Well,
saying.
she had her eye on him a long time. And when she was younger, he was famous football player, and he was up in school, and Sammy had been in Little Rock a long time. But when she came to Boonville, that's when she met him and saw him and knew who he was. But I think, but no, it's actually court a lot. They didn't, not very long. They didn't really have a long courtship.
Okay.
So, and.
But she'd already set her hat.
Oh, I think so. Yes, yes. Because I remember talking to some of the girls that grew up around that time, some of the women that worked with, and Tommy Faye Wiggins, for one, she talked about how Sammy had, well, a lot of the girls that set their cap, but when their daddy sent them to live with their Aunt Ethel, and she was probably older, maybe she was about, she might have been close to 16, I don't know. I know she went to school while over here, but anyhow, that's when she really set her cap party. But they made a good match, you know. He was slow and patient, and what else would you say about Alan? Certainly slow and patient, and he ignored and Miss Sammy, she was get this job done today, you know, right now, and we're going to do this and this and this, and
So they kind of played off of.
yes, they did. They complimented each other, and she would. I call it cleaning up City Hall. As she got on the do of getting things done, you know, and Joan laughs and tells about her buying Alan's clothes because he never thought the price of anything went up, and she didn't want to have to be confrontational with him over what something cost, you know. So she, I forgot one time she brought him a pair of shoes home, and he needed a pair of shoes, and he asked her how much they cost, and I think she told him $10 when it was really like about 25, you know, something like that. So she didn't.
Who does that sound like?
What are you talking about?
Your parents.
My parents?
Yeah, you're always talking about how your mother would go buy things and she would hide the price tag from your father.
That's necessary sometimes.
Because he had no idea what
Jim
things
Frank,
cost.
no, Jim Frank reminds me of Alan so much in so many ways.
That sounds like your dad.
Good coffee, Jeffrey.
Well, I tell you, I never got the coffee bug.
No, I can cut down. I need just a little caffeine to wake me up when I get up from that long afternoon rest. But I don't need enough to set
Yeah.
my heart for racing.
Do they have you on nebulizer treatments?
I am, and
Yeah.
they were, and they moved my medications to Xopanex, which doesn't make my heart race like that.
Do you have it, just the inhaler, or do you do the mask and the whole
No, it's
nebulizer?
just through the mouth,
Okay. Yeah.
and it's a microcoverage.
It's
I
neat.
love it. I'm on my second because in cleaning them, I try not to touch that, but it's so delicate, and so many,
Mom,
I'm sure, people had trouble with them that they just quit
see
using them.
that robot?
Yeah.
So,
I
I
imagine
can
so.
change heads.
but I'm trying to keep mine in
And
good
look.
repair.
See? A weird guy.
I want
And
to
this is his remote. And
It's
this is
so
his
convenient
remote.
to put the batteries in it, take it with me. Our niece, we have three nieces. My oldest sister had 3 girls. And even though she's passed away, her daughters are still really good to Virginia and I. And they drove us out to Shawnee to spend the day with our sister there. And I just carry it in my purse with me. And on the way home, well, after the minute I got there, I took my treatment. But on the way home, I had to take the treatment in the car. But it was no problem because you can just operate off battery and you don't have to have anything to plug into.
That's nice.
It is.
Yeah.
I'm hanging on to that little dude, I mean.
Jack used tests to see how he does without it. And he's done really well. I think once winter comes, we'll go back to it because of all the colds and viruses that are flying.
It's about this school. His dogs and our dogs have really had the fleas this summer.
Heaven.
Come on, Jack.
Oh, we used to, Jenny used to
Because it's been
something
so
called
wet, I wonder.
Capstar, I don't know, but,
You're
he's
a
had
man.
them.
He's a sweet dog.
Her is a sweet dog, she is loving.
Is she a
She says
Chihuahua
loving.
mix?
I have no idea what she was throwing
Little
out.
mutt, yeah.
Ben picked him up on the road.
He was a dog at the end of the street and had something like 9 puppies. But they never saw, they'd see the mama through the neighborhood some, but they never saw puppies. So they asked about it and somebody confirmed it. Well, this puppy showed up at their house and got in a little corner of dollars, going to the vet,
It's
going to the,
easy.
Atwoods and gets, I told him he was just